forward to this.
Here we go, everybody. It's a last minute-ish stream if you're here live. Hello there, guys. Nottingham. Hope you're doing good, my friend. And Peter, I won't mention the football for ya, but I just did. I apologize. That was our best performance. Arguably our only good performance, really, like genuinely good performance against the Dutch. Sorry, Peter, but hey, it soon ended for us as well. Jane, hope you're doing good. Nice to see you. You weren't there for our last one. Shame on you, but all is forgiven because you have returned to the light side. Who else is here? Leona Powdroid Girl is here. Ross Jenkins is here. David Milano is here as well. So yeah, this is a bit last minute. I've only really just seen the finale. I say just seen, it was like yesterday. It's been a really difficult series for me to keep up with just because of life and stuff, busyness and things. And I wanted to do a proper stream, having binged the entire season, maybe series, to give it a second chance and to really concentrate on it. But I haven't had a chance to do that. I head off on Monday to work at a little sporting event in the capital city of France. So it's not going to happen for a while. So doing this to talk about the finale of The Acolyte. There will be spoilers, of course, and there will be a certain Chad Campbell has agreed kind of last minute to join me as well. If we do get to do the full season one, I might call upon some other familiar names, faces, voices as well. But Chad, thank you very much for joining last minute. And hey, let's bring you in. Hi, Chad.
Hey, everyone.
Hope you're doing good, mate. Anders is also here. Frederick is here as well. Hope you are both doing good too. So, Chad, we spoke a little while ago. I think maybe 6 episodes of The Acolyte were out at that point. The Euros was still ongoing. I think England were ready to play the Netherlands in the semi-final. That's when we last spoke. Now the final 2 episodes of The Acolyte are out, as are England, but they did beat the Netherlands on the way there, didn't they, Peter?
All right. Am I here?
Chad, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You froze, I think, but I just carried on talking.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened. Like the second I started talking, went. So what did you ask me? I'm sorry.
I didn't really ask you something, to be honest. I noticed you froze. I just kept on talking. That's the radio training in me doing its thing.
Good.
But now you're back and you seem to be unfrozen. You're out of carbonite. I was just sort of reminiscing about the last time we spoke. So we were 6 episodes in at that point. Now we've had 2 more. We're going to focus on the finale, but feel free to give, general thoughts and maybe some thoughts on episode 7 if you want to. I think I noticed your podcast you've been slacking like me. You haven't been keeping up to date.
Yes.
So I have put the link to Chad's podcast in the video description, although there's not much fresh content for you, but still feel free to go and check out the
guys.
outside.
Sorry. No, I don't have much coming out. I need to get my thoughts out into something. I was going to do episode by episode, and then life just happened. And so then it became basically now you're just waiting on me to, whenever I can, get to it, and that will hopefully be soon because I have some thoughts on the show, but we're going to talk about a lot of them right here.
Yeah, this is a shortish one. Hopefully we'll do that longer one and get a bit more discussion going generally. But yeah, really focusing on the finale, everybody. Today, we'll at the end get our ratings for the finale itself. We may as well, while we're here, do maybe a season overall rating as well. But Chad, can you confirm that you have now seen the finale? Because I believe about 1 hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, you had not.
I just got it done at like it's 1:21 here, so at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6:21 here. So 21 minutes ago, you finished up with the finale. You've not had much time to let the dust settle, but how are you feeling right now?
So I thought the episode before this was great, and then there was this one moment that I wrote about on Discord. I wrote this giant rant, and I hated it. It's episode 7. So in that, let me see what I even had said because it's been so long. Oh, when the mama character dies, the lead witch or whatever, and it's so everything happens so sporadically and stupid. Like they just end up he for some reason kills the witch who for some reason turned into smoke. And then at the end, after she steps, she's like, I was on your side the whole time. And dies. It's such terrible writing and so many like convenient things that happened. I did not love it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the rest of the episode I really liked. But I feel like this show, it has no idea. It has a plot, and like the characters just kind of have to go with it depending on what they want at that moment.
Mm.
Um, you feel, I mean, OSHA has been with the Jedi for like what, 15 years? And then all of a sudden is like uh bad. She wants to be with her sister. We have zero evidence as an audience that she got along with her sister. All their scenes together were them fighting and disagreeing as kids. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't get along. They didn't want the same thing. Now she's weeping openly over her sister, who she's missed all this time for 15 years, and she's willing to kill someone who's been her mentor and best friend for that whole amount of time for the sister that she didn't get along with and thinks is evil. Like, yeah, they killed your mom, but you haven't seen your mom in 15 years, and this guy's been your parent. I don't know. Obviously, I feel it just the tone. It reminds me of episode 9 where there's not a ton of logic. You just need to tell a story. And the motivations of characters shift, the story shifts. It just kind of depends on what they need to get done. I liked the story, but I thought the character arcs that it needed to get to the story didn't make a lot of sense. The Sith holding hands, like now they're dating at the end. Like, what the hell was that? Of episode 8, that was so. I just swore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But
It's okay.
that was I know, we had a
You just
thing.
got a little bit stiff there, didn't you? That's all.
But it just was I found it very inconsistent with itself.
Mm.
Um and that was kind of my thing. And the thing is I really actually kind of liked it. Um but I I also disliked it at the same time, and none of it's for the online BS reasons that people are
Mm-hmm.
doing, but I just thought it just didn't. So much of it worked, and then so much of it at the same time did not work at all.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. There's definitely issues in my opinion and in your opinion, and I think many people's opinions that there are issues with writing and the structure of this show. And yeah, when you can't really follow or believe, more like believe, the motivations of your two main characters in Osha and May, if they are the main characters, I suppose they are, the Acolyte,
Yeah,
then, you know, what's going on, really? Soul is the most interesting character for sure, and acting performance as well. You know, the actor, I believe this is his first English speaking role, globally became famous through Squid Game and learned English for this role, I believe. You know, it's a very impressive performance and an interesting character, but as Leona said here, again, some motives there poorly conveyed, which has to come back to the writing once again. Even Basil, I didn't even get his motivations.
I don't even
The
know what
little
Basil.
tracker thing, you know?
What
What was
was
he
Basil?
doing when he sabotaged the ship?
I don't know what Basil's entire point was. Just always to be. It's like the cute thing you had to try and sell toys off. But wow, Frederick literally just said the same thing you
Same
did
thing, yeah.
on there. Yeah, I don't know if Basil had a point. You probably could edit Basil out and it's the same show, but they just had to show him every episode sniffing around.
Yeah, and again, you know, there is an interesting story there, and there are interesting characters in this story. As David Milano said, Soul is a tragic character, blinded by his desire to be doing something meaningful, being a good teacher. Once he begins making bad choices, they keep compounding. I don't know how much the And also there's Leona's message as well. It was poorly conveyed that Soul let his emotions cloud his judgment. I don't know as well how much with the writing and with the lack of character development and clarity of conveying these motives comes down to the limited duration times of these Disney Plus episodes.
Yeah.
That is a factor. It has to be a factor.
Yeah, if there's a season 2, they could probably explain and correct a lot of this stuff and it would be okay. If there is just a season 1, then this could probably be the worst Star Wars show that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But it has the potential to be great because I liked a lot of what it was setting up. I like
Yeah.
a lot of what it wants to do and what it wants to say and have happen. I like the character arcs, but I feel like it doesn't match the character it's attached to. Um, that's my real issue. It's all comes down to the writing for me with this show.
I agree, and I couldn't do better. I could not do better, but as a viewer,
Oh,
um,
absolutely.
I've not, had as much enjoyment from this show as I hoped for and actually expected too, because the premise has always been exciting of this series, but I don't think we really got what we were told we were getting. And I don't know if we were told we were getting this by Disney, by Lucasfilm, or did we decide that this is what we were getting, and that was a Sith oriented, Sith focus from their perspective show. And I don't think we really got that. But again, I don't know if that's what we were actually officially promised. I want to come on to Frederick's message from earlier. But first of all, to Willow Customs, hope you're doing good, my friend. Good to see you again. I think you were here for the last one too, weren't you? Frederick said, I really wanted to give this show a chance. And there were a lot of people out there who did not want to give this show a chance. And boy, did they not give it a chance. Frederick continues to say, I reserved all of my judgment until the very end. And well, I agree with Chad. Terrible writing. Awesome fight scenes, though. And there was some great moments in this series.
The action in this, the choreography was fantastic. I dug all of that. I thought that was awesome. A lot of people were like, it upsets everything that George set up. Maybe George backtracked on himself all the time in his books and everything. Like, the dude didn't care. His interview on Stephen Colbert when he like makes up the planets and all that stuff, like he didn't care. He just wanted to tell a good story. I think the story here, what it wanted to tell, was good. The story was good. The way that they told it and made the characters change to match it, that didn't work. But at its core, it's a solid story. It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not like, let's not forget George Lucas has made some really awful movies in Star Wars and let some awful things happen under the name of Star Wars. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, like I'm always gonna say that I'm happier to have more Star Wars in my life than not. So I'm happier to have this than not at all. Peter says the storytelling was erratic to say the least. Agree with that. And going back to what Frederick said, and I said as well, Basil's motivation was even confusing. Exactly, was he pro May? Was he pro Osha? Was he pro Soul? Why the heck did he sabotage the Starfighter? Peter, I noticed somewhere that you said you don't do sports, but I do remember you making a slightly cocky comment last time I streamed about the England-Holland match before it happened. So you don't do sports when it suits you, I suppose, or when it doesn't suit you. That's my takeaway. De Milano says, I took Basil sabotaging the ship to be acting as Soul's conscience, keeping him from murder. But I don't. Was he trying to? What was Soul trying to do in that moment? Was he trying to shoot the ship? May's ship. She was on the little escape ship pod thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. And then Frederick's also asking that question, but the targeting thing doesn't even make sense. Was Soul really going to shoot down May, or was he going to track to beam her back to his ship? Yeah. Ross Jenkins, the show was awful. It was all over the place. I don't think it was awful, but it definitely was all over the place. I still think there was some good moments. And again, some good ideas and some interesting characters, just the execution just didn't hit the mark for me. Ross also says there were some good moments, but poor acting, poor writing. It just came across like it didn't care what came before from the G. Lucas. Jane Flakes says, I struggled at the beginning, enjoyed aspects of the middle, but to me it felt slightly lacking. However, the backlash online was so vile, I tried hard to be kind to it. And yeah, I think we're all on the same page there. I think everybody here is at least giving it a chance. And it's okay not to like something, you know, at least be honest about it. I couldn't do a better job myself. You know, but I didn't enjoy a lot of the execution of this series and the writing and some of the structure of it.
We sound negative, but I did love the lightsaber fights. I do want to say that. Like, I thought the fights were probably the best we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I agree with that. Peter, okay, so I want to work through the comments. We'll keep going for about 10 minutes. But I do want to pick up on this because I know it's a running joke from Peter, but I suppose there's two moments he's referring to there specifically. He's not just throwing it out there randomly in terms of the finale. We had Plagueis and we had Yoda. They want a season 2. And I think Leslie Headland has said she's already got it mapped out in her head. And, you know, they are 2 very big teases. So the fact that I don't think these 2 cameos can save the season for me personally, although I do want to go back and give it a proper binge, proper focus. However, it does leave you thinking, oh, well, maybe I would like a season 2. Or does it not,
season 2? Yeah, I want a season 2. I mean, it could make it a great first season if the season 2 is really good.
I mean, you kind of feel like that, like from a storytelling point of view, there almost has to be now when you've had that Plagueis reveal and you've had Yoda at the end. But this was a very expensive show. This was 180 million, I think, US dollars. And I believe Disney have said they're overspending on Star Wars, right? And Marvel, and will be looking to maybe scale back or focus more on perhaps the movies. I don't know. So I don't think it's I can imagine it's quite far from a done deal, but we'll see. It would you know, but then equally they have invested a lot in this era of Star Wars, you know, because there's the whole High Republic series of books. So to not continue with it, you know, would be quite a big decision beyond this series, even the live action.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if we don't get a season 2, but I don't know how well it's been doing. I mean, it's been in the minimal ratings that are shown. It's been in the top like 3 amongst all streaming services, but I don't know if that means good or bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's get through some more comments. Powder Girl, it feels very Star Wars. I agree with that. And I think it's aimed at a particular demographic, teenage girls, but it's inconsistent in so many ways. Phoenix Force. Okay. I should have read that before I put it up. I don't agree with that. Okay. Thanks, Chad. Should have also read the.
Yeah. Sorry. I told you. Ignore anyway, that comment. No, okay.
And there is that. Yeah, there is people out there saying, you know, where did the money go as well? I mean, I don't think this looked cheap, but equally doesn't look as cinematic as Andor, does it?
No, definitely not. No.
Jane Flakes wants a second season. Milano liked it a lot. Maybe the 3rd best live action Star Wars after Andor and Ahsoka. And that's great. And again, I think there's definitely stuff I like from this show so far. And again, I'm going to go back and watch it all and give it a second chance. And my final rating could well change. Frederick says, yeah, I want a proper closure for this show. They have to explain the extinct for a millennia, and always too, there are no more, no less. Jane Flakes, I enjoyed the idea of the Jedi really making some pretty poor decisions, other than you would, wouldn't you, Jane? Other than the usual stealing of children to turn into child soldiers. Ross Jenkins, I meant it was awful because it was all over the place. Yeah, It was all over the place. So yeah, that's fair. I was looking forward to this the most after its announcement. I think a lot of people were. You hear Acolyte, you immediately think badass Sith, but I didn't get that. We didn't get that.
Yeah, I think I really liked the Sith when they introduced him 5 episodes in. And I thought, like, okay, this is going to be really cool. He's barely in it. Um, and I thought we just didn't have a set villain. And then we tried to almost make the Jedi into maybe the villain, or I don't know. I don't know. And now I guess our main character is a villain. Man, what happens here? But yes, I agree with that. I would have liked to see straight up Sith fighting.
Peter says, let season 2 commence. No problem with that. But the Vader noises when Osha put on the helmet, pathetic, to give just one example. There was also the Kylo Ren theme was used at one point, wasn't it? During I think episode 5 or 6, with the big fight where everybody died in the forest.
That I want to know. I'll look online and see. Maybe someone's already discussed it. I want to see if that was like a legit thing, or if that was, like, I don't know, just it's the music happened to sound like that.
I think Leslie Headland, who's been doing a lot of interviews as the episodes have been coming out, or she's done interviews with the journalists who got to see a lot more episodes in advance, and they've been embargoed until the episodes are out. She did. I'm 99% sure I saw a quote where she confirmed, and there is a reason for that, but we don't know it yet.
I wonder if this is the start, or he's one of the ones that starts the Knights of Ren type thing. That's what I can think, because that helmet and all is a Knights of Ren vibe.
Yeah. Well, again, we'll only know if there's a season 2, or if I'll find out via you guys who read the books, comics. Okay.
Yep.
Let's get ratings in for the finale. And if you want to throw in your season 1, let's be positive. Let's say season 1, and I'm sure there will be a season 2 score overall out of 10. Stick them in the chat, and we'll be wrapping up in a few moments. But yeah, good to see people showing up. Apologies again that it's last minute. If you're watching on the replay, aka in the future, leave a comment, hit that like button, all that kind of stuff as well. If you're here live, I hope you already have. You shouldn't need to be told by now. Hit that like button. Chad, while we wait for some scores to come in, let's do ours. So do you want to give yours for the finale first, and then if you want the season as well?
Yeah, I haven't thought of the season overall. So just impulsively, last episode I'd probably give it 8, because at least it made me want a second season. And that's something. If it was bad, I would have been like, screw this whole thing. But at least I wanted a second season, because I do like what it's setting up, even if I don't understand half of it. And it's trial and error with this stuff. A lot of these people are new to writing Star Wars and stuff, so you get better as you go. I thought that the show overall is probably a 7 out of 10, which ties with Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett as my least loved Star Wars TV series. Yeah, I probably will end up rewatching this more than I rewatched Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi, but that'll really depend on if there's another season.
Yeah, well, I am going to give the whole season a watch, because you said this last time we spoke. It should be a good binge, a better binge. And I had a few episodes I was watching on like my phone and stuff, so I wasn't fully connected. So I want to give it another chance. You've changed my finale score actually, because you made a good point. I was going to give it a 6.5, but I'm going to nudge it up to a 7, because you're right. Okay. It has actually, before this episode, I didn't really care whether there was a season 2 or not. But yeah, you're right. What it has done, and it wasn't a bad episode, what it has done is make me want to actually a season 2. So did a good job in that sense. So I'm going to nudge it up to a 7, but I am going to give the season overall a 6.5 for now. I might change that when we speak next, having binged it.
I mean, that's pretty close. 6.5, and I had a 7. That's pretty close.
Yeah. And again, 5 is average. So anything above 5 is above average, if only a little bit above average. Okay, we got some comments here and scores. Peter agrees with you in terms of the Knights of Ren vibe in there with the helmet. Smiler Ren fighting was one of the highlights. Yeah, some really good action. And I thought he did a good, put in a good acting performance as well.
He's a good actor, though.
Yeah.
Like he was in The Good Place and very briefly in Top Gun. He's a good actor.
Jane Flakes, I think that like Rebels, this show has the ability to grow and become more beloved. I really wanted a dark side show, and this was it. Yeah, and hopefully it gets that. I do want it to have that chance to grow, and like Chad said, you know, maybe explain a few things better. You know, to fix a few things from season 1, perhaps. Frederick, we got a score. Oh, David's score as well. I'll come back to that. Finale episode 4 out of 10 from Frederick. I had high expectations, to be fair. De Milano, the episode 8.5, the season 9. I look forward to being dragged for that. No, it's totally, that's great. Totally great. Power Droid Girl. Finale, 8 out of 10 for the lightsabering series overall, 7 out of 10. It's nice having new toys in the toy box and new friends to play with. And bring on Andor Season 2, I say, and I'm sure you will as well, Power Droid Girl. Do we have a release date for that yet? They've definitely wrapped filming, haven't they? Shooting for it.
So it sounds like it's 2025 now, so I imagine it's going to be early-ish.
The Skeleton Crew next, I guess.
Skeleton Crew is supposed to be this fall? Something like that?
In terms of a score, I would give the season a 9 out of 12. We all know Jane's system by now. A lot of that extra score is for the use of Manny, and he plays an excellent dark sider. Yeah, there's a lot of praise for his performance. Okay, Peter's score is in. This is for episode 8, a 5.2 in the end. And I think he's nudged it up from 5.1 for those fight scenes. All right. Well, I can't see any more scores. But Chad, are you touched on this earlier. You're planning to do something in the podcasting world to mark the end of this series or not?
Yeah, I'm probably going to do an overall review and talk about it. I really need to get my thoughts. Maybe I'll binge it through. Watch it with my wife, who's she's a very casual Star Wars fan. She doesn't necessarily watch these shows every week and get super pumped for it. But if she might watch the whole thing once. And I kind of want to see from a complete outsider perspective, who's not looking for, oh, did that work in the world or the lore? She doesn't care about that. So how did she react to it?
Yeah, well, keep an eye out for that, everybody. I have linked to Chad's Star Wars Lunch Special podcast in the video description. Okay. I can't see any more scores. So thank you, everybody, for joining. We'll talk soon, hopefully. I don't know exactly how soon, but soon, I'm sure. Chad, thanks again for joining and quickly watching the finale as well, so you could share your thoughts and not have them spoiled. Just very quickly, like me, did you have the Plagueis and Yoda cameos spoiled in advance or not?
I did not. I didn't have either of them. I'm assuming that's Plagueis. That's what would make sense. Yoda, Plagueis, I assumed would show up in some form. Yoda, I did not think. It makes sense though. Yoda was definitely around at that time.
Yeah. I had it ruined in advance, but again, they weren't particularly surprising cameos anyway, and very fleeting. Okay, great. I still cannot see any more scores, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. I am going to hit end streams. You know what you got to do? Start waving, everybody. Start waving. And I know, Power Droid Girl, we did it. It's a 30-minute stream, or 30 seconds pretty much now. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you, Jane Flakes. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you soon. Keep waiting.